This video series chronicles our remote Alaska cabin development over the years. Welcome to Exploring Alaska Waterways. You see a barge coming in, bringing supplies into our island behind me. This episode is all about the finishing touches on the cabin, the many projects that brought our remote Alaska cabin to life. These weren't weekend jobs either. They took place over several years. Each summer, we'd pack up and head off the grid and tackle a project or two before heading back home in the Midwest to plan for the next year. We added a washer and dryer, finished the interior walls, and wired up the electrical system. Installed fixtures and decorations to make it feel like home. Insulation, vapor barriers, cedar ceiling, a cozy wood stove, and an outdoor deck to soak in those views. We installed a Graywater System, and even some comfy furniture made their way in. But don't worry, it wasn't all work. We made sure to enjoy the journey, take in the scenery, and have a little fun along the way. We got all the materials over by landing craft, and once everything was on site, the planning kicked off. We started framing the front deck first, then moved onto the back and to the sides. So it's a wraparound deck. This is important because of all the mud that accumulates when you walk on this kind of soil repeatedly. Once the frame was up, we nailed and screwed down the decking to lock it all in. For safety, we threw up a railing and later added a cable rail system to fill in the gaps. We added stairs with handrails on the side and the back to make it easier to get around. And somewhere in the middle of it all, we made sure to take a break for a good old teeter-totter session because, hey, you gotta have a little fun on a build like this. The deck payoff has been wonderful, such as watching whales. Another big payoff was we were able to get our parents and my dad to Alaska while they were still able to come. We went with Trojan J305 batteries for the cabin. 6 volts each, and we wired these in 2 for series to get 12 volts, and then 3 pairs in parallel, which gave us over 7 kilowatt hours of energy. Massive cables tied it all together, running to a transfer switch, which was connected to a Trace Series 2412 120-60 inverter. It's a modified sine wave unit. Next up, we installed the electrical panel, breakers, and ran wiring out to the lights, switches, and outlets throughout the cabin. To keep the system charged, we set up a Honda EU3000 inverter on the back deck, feeding into the transfer switch and the trace inverter. Next came the best part, though, flipping that switch and watching the cabin come to electrical life as lights flickered on, outlets came alive, and appliances roared into action. That's when all this hard work paid off. Our metal roof and rain gutters do double duty, collecting water for the cabin's freshwater catchment system. The water stored in 8 big blue 55-gallon barrels tucked under the back deck, all tied together to give us about 400 gallons of usable fresh water. Now, while the old days of hauling buckets from Pan Creek aren't totally behind us, when we run low, we'll still load up with 4 5-gallon buckets using the jet skiff. It's pretty rare that we have to do that anymore. A ship's pump, regulated to 35 psi, sends pressurized water right to the kitchen sink, washer, bathroom, sink, and shower. Our Graywater system is set up following the Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation guidelines. It collects used water from the sinks and showers, which drains into a barrel fitted with inlet and outlet filters to catch debris. From there, the filtered water flows into a simple drain field where it is absorbed into the ground. It's a straightforward, low-impact system that keeps things running smoothly and responsibly. We started out using the ATV to haul heavy loads up to the cabin, but without a proper trail, we had to stop short and unload everything well short of the cabin. Not ideal. So we picked up an old towable backhoe, gave it some much-needed TLC, and shipped it up to Alaska. Once it arrived, we put it to work clearing and shaping an ATV trail all the way to the door. With the ATV towing the backhoe and lots of old-fashioned muscle to grub up and level the path, we finally got the trail dialed in. And when we gave it a test run, success! Now we can haul firewood and heavy loads straight to the cabin, with the ATV and trailer saving time and a lot of backstrain. It wasn't all work. We made plenty of time for fun too. There was axe throwing, kayaking together, a bit of friendly competition, and even whale watching up close. The fishing at the cabin was great, and Brett often took out a little inflatable, always extra careful with a sharp gaff hook. On rainy days, we turned to art projects. We built Legos, hand painting the big post where all our guests signed their names, and crafting furniture from whatever we had on hand. And of course, there was always the seafood, shared meals that brought everyone together and made every moment even more special. Surrounded by remote wilderness, we were blessed by the company of family and friends whose laughter and fellowship filled this place with warmth. Out here, the quiet feeds the soul, and every shared moment becomes a memory we'll carry for a lifetime.